Another brick fan with a LEGO Star Wars review. This is Armored Assault Tank. This is set 75283, was released in October 2020. Has 286 pieces for minifigures and cost about $40 when it was released. The biggest draw for this set is Ahsoka Tano. It's been over 4 years since we've seen an Ahsoka Tano minifigure. So that is a welcome addition to this set, as well as the 332nd Clone Trooper. We're going to take a closer look at these figures here in a few minutes, but let's go ahead and take a look at the AAT itself. Looking at the AAT, I think it's a really good looking model. I like the use of this dark blue, what LEGO would call earth blue. It's kind of a navy color. The turret here on the top does rotate 180 degrees, although it does rub a little bit against some of these other pieces, so there's very little clearance there. So it's a little rough, but the turret itself can move 90 degrees here, maybe a little more than 90 degrees. To give it a lot of positioning, there's these other weapons here on the sides. There is enough space for 2 crew members in this vehicle. So up top here, you open up the top and you can fit a droid up top here. And then there's another spot out the front here, more of a control area. These droids don't sit as well as a minifigure, but they can be positioned in there. So now we have a droid there in the pilot seat, and if you look closely you can see a couple of instrument panels inside of there. And we can also put a droid up in the turret area, as you see here. This tank does move around fairly well on its slides. So there are some of these inverted 4x4 tiles down here that you can see down here on the bottom. Some of those inverted tiles. With the inverted tiles, this slides pretty well over a flat surface. And again, the turret can be moved and positioned. You see how it sticks just a little bit because those pieces catch here, mostly on this grill piece here. But it does still turn with a little bit of effort. There are 2 spring shooters down here on the bottom, and those can be fired using these little pieces here. So you see that there's a little tab right down here. You pull that and it fires the spring-loaded shooters. So they are incorporated quite well into the design of the AAT, which I thought turned out pretty well. A couple of stickers on here. You can see these diamond pattern type stickers, one on either side. But not a lot of stickers to this set. The back here is fairly plain. You see the firing mechanisms right in here. These move down and fire those spring-loaded, the spring shooter missiles. Overall, a good representation of an AAT, and I think it turned out really nicely. But let's take a look at some of the big draw for this set, which are the minifigures. This AAT set comes with 4 minifigures, 2 of which that are exclusive to this set. They include 2 of these Kashak battle droids, Ahsoka Tano here, and a clone trooper from the 332nd Company, which was the one that Ahsoka worked with during the Clone Wars. They all have accessories. Ahsoka comes with these 2 lightsabers, as you see here. These do have the chrome or the silver lightsaber hilts, which I always appreciate getting those. I just think they look better in this silver than they do in any of the other, in just the gray color. The clone trooper and the battle droid both have the same weapon, although the battle droid has this kind of metallic gray coloring, and the Clone Trooper has just a black blaster. I do like the detailing on this battle droid. It's nice to get him with the kind of olive colored torso and then the printing here on the head. A standard battle droid, if you look at these two by comparison, side by side, a standard battle droid is just this one tan color for all of the parts, whereas our Kashyyyk battle droid has the printing and the different colored torso. Looking over at Ahsoka, I really like this headpiece. It looks really good. It's, the older version of Ahsoka, so the tails are longer with two in the front, one in the back, with all of this blue printing that goes along with the headpiece. So I think it turned out really nicely, and there's this silver up here on over the top. Her face print is good with some additional tattoos here on her face. I think turned out well, and then of course the color matching on the arms and the headpiece is spot on. She does have some good printing down here on her legs. So this blue is color matched really well with the torso, and they aren't dual molded legs, so this is actually printed. And then a lot of silver printing and a little bit of gold type printing here. So you can kind of see that shine in the light as she moves around. So that's a nice touch. Our Clone Trooper, really the only exclusive part of this Clone Trooper is the helmet. So it's done with this orange printing on it. He has the angry Clone Trooper face that you see so often with Clone Troopers. There's this torso and leg is the same as we've seen in a lot of other sets with clones from. So the 501st Battle Pack, for example, has this exact same torso and leg combination for the troopers, but they have blue highlights on their helmets instead of the orange. And then I've already pointed out this Kashyyyk Trooper's difference as well. Moving around the figures, you see there is an alternate expression for Ahsoka Tano. You see here that back printing is just a continuation of the printing we saw on the front. She does have the top part of the legs here is that blue color, but the legs are done in this gray, same as her hands. Good back printing on the back of our Clone Trooper, and he does not have an alternate expression. No additional printing on the back of the battle droid itself. Let's go back and I'll give you my final thoughts on this AAT set. Overall, I really like the look of this set. I think the choice of the dark blue and the gray really work well together. I like how they have this cockpit down here that you can put one of our droids in, and then there's a spot up in the turret for another one of the droids, or a minifigure, I suppose, if they commandeered this tank. I do like the fact that we have Ahsoka Tano. I think this is a great minifigure, and we talked about that as we looked at her in detail. The use of the 332nd Company Clone Trooper was nice, although, as I mentioned, the only real difference is the helmet, but I still think it's a good-looking helmet. Going on the cost for this, with 286 pieces and a $40 price tag, this certainly is more expensive than the 10 cent per piece that I like to use as a baseline. It is a Star Wars set, so I expect those to be a little bit more expensive. However, I think this probably would have been nicer it's certainly been great as a $30 set. Maybe 35. I mean, I think 40 is just a touch high, but I'm sure they're going to get that. Since this set has been out for a while, it's probably fairly easy to find on sale, but it probably will be retired soon. I think the big draw of this set is going to be Ahsoka Tano. I think this is a great minifigure, and it's going to be appealing to a lot of Star Wars fans. I do like these Kashyyyk droids. The extra coloring on them really makes them stand out, whereas most of the droids are just one color and kind of bland, to be quite honest, although the shaping is pretty good. And they do look just like the battle droids as seen in the movie and then in the Clone Wars. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this Star Wars set. I'm going to get started on my next video. And until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to see more of my content. I've left a link to my Star Wars review playlist up here on the screen.